This new study that liberal women in particular are going completely bananas. We've got a quote here from EV magazine. There was a new study, and this study, which examined white liberals, moderates, and conservatives, both male and female, found that conservatives were far less likely to be diagnosed with mental health issues than those who identified as either liberal. So we've got this image up, and this is Pew Research, okay? These people are reputable as far as I'm concerned. What you're seeing all the way on the left there, the 56.3, that's the high blue bar, that's white liberal women. 56.3% of white liberal women have had a doctor or other healthcare provider told them that they have a mental health condition. Now you go to the right over there, and the 27.3, see white conservatives? So this is white liberals, white moderates, and white conservatives. Only 27.3 of white conservatives have had this happen to them. And what's interesting, so basically in effect double. So basically double white women who are liberal are suffering from some sort of mental condition that conservatives are not. And I think you can directly link that to the previous story, that if you only read liberal media, you don't know what is true anymore, and you can take any position depending on what Trump said, or you find out 3 weeks later that every story that they tell you is a lie. You can't talk about COVID leaking from a lab, then you can. You're told Brett Kavanaugh's a racist, then you're told he's not. Jesse Smollett was lynched, then he wasn't lynched. The Covington kids were evil white supremacists, then it turns out that they weren't. Trump tried to pressure the attorney general in Georgia to flip the election results, then that turns out to be false. These people are inundating themselves with nonsensical information that doesn't comport with the real world in front of them, and then they're starting to go crazy because then they find out real information, but they're so tied into a sort of political identity that they can't actually accept what's real. And by the way, I don't think, and I made this argument in my book, I don't think you can disconnect that from having something to do with belief. It's such a strange place for me to be arguing from, but I really do believe that conservatives, generally speaking, and not all conservatives are believers, obviously, but believing in something, it doesn't mean we all have to believe in the exact same God. It doesn't mean we all have to have the exact same traditions, but believing in something helps keep people sane in the storm. It keeps the ship afloat when you're in an endless wade of bullshit. And that's what we're in right now. So liberals are all kind of going nuts. And I mean that, and in this case, I mean that when I say liberals and not lefties, because there really aren't any liberals left, despite being the guy that wrote the book defending liberalism, right? They're all sort of going nuts because things are obviously far worse politically, and I would say culturally, now than under Trump. Like, that's just obvious. If you care about any sort of liberal principle, that's just deeply obvious. And yet people are now not saying anything, right? The liberals really are doing nothing in the face of this because they don't want to be called scary conservatives. And what I find consistently is that conservatives are open, they're decent, they're willing to talk, all that stuff that you all well know. So it does not surprise me that over half of white liberal women, these people who self-flagellate, right? These people who, there was this incredible video that went around of some school Zoom thing where a white teacher tells people she will no longer teach Spanish because she, as a white woman, shouldn't be teaching Spanish. It's becoming a mental disorder. Wokeism is a mental disorder, and it has infected a huge amount of people. And if you are liberal, if you are a true liberal and you're watching this show, I hate to tell you, but you're a scary conservative now. But they'll be